Now, why is the issue of open primaries personally important to you? I want to start there.
Okay. I just resigned from the Department of State. I've been a U.S. diplomat for the last 6 years, and when you're abroad for 6 years talking about the American dream and how America is the beacon of democracy, you become very patriotic. But then when you get back to the U.S., like I have been now for 9 months, you look around and realize government's broken, people are unenthused, they're apathetic, and what's the root cause of our political dysfunction? And it led me to forming this nonprofit, New Mexico Open Primaries.
A nonpartisan system, in my opinion, is meant to facilitate communication between all sides.
If you're going to talk about voter rights, but you're not going to talk about the rights of independent voters, frankly, I think you're committing a form of voter fraud.
People all over this country in all communities don't vote in the ways that one might expect, and it's because of the discouragement created by a two-party system that does not represent the American people.
Democracy is ordinary people being able to impact on policies that determine their lives.
I don't believe that any citizen should be forced to register with any party in order to exercise his or her full rights as voters.
The parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, despise this. Why? Because it takes power away from them and gives it back to the people.
This is not just about 2016. There is an anger in this country that has been building. Look at 1992. Ross Perot was at 42% in the polls at that time. The American people are deeply frustrated with both political parties, with the ways in which they silo and corral people into these different segments that are doing war with each other, and there's no opportunity or little opportunity for constructive, honest, developmental dialogue that could move the country forward.
Open Primaries' widely heralded report on Nebraska's nonpartisan electoral system definitively proves that under a nonpartisan system, debates over issues prevail over partisan politics, even in a state heavily dominated by one political party. It has been distributed across the country, raising significant awareness of Nebraska's successful experiment and helping initiate a national working group, Legislators for Open Primaries.
When you're successful in winning an election, when you've had to court all voters, not just party voters, you become a better legislator. We are free to compromise. We're free to work out differences and not just take a hard line on a particular issue.
Virtually a 100% incumbent re-election rate. That means if I was already in the legislature or Congress and I could run for another term, I was virtually guaranteed to get that seat under the old partisan system. What we found in 2012 and 2014 was that 14 incumbents lost their seats.
In Arizona, some of the voters who declined to join a party now talk of joining with each other.
It may sound kind of like an oxymoron, but Arizona's unaffiliated independent voters are organizing themselves and banding together.
So we have put together an unprecedented coalition across party lines, including many folks who have given up on parties entirely. And I think that's a critical statement. Unfortunately, and only on rare occasions have we ever agreed on anything. But today we come together united in our passion for the state of Arizona and in our passion for changing the way elections are conducted in the future.
I'm deeply honored to be joined here today by the people who I have opposed in past elections. I think it's us standing together is a testament that the American experiment is still alive and well in the last continental state, Arizona, which joined this union.
I'm registered as an independent because the party system is broken. Independents face barriers to participation and are even banned from voting in the presidential primary. That's wrong. We shouldn't have to join a party to be treated fairly.
I'm Danny Ortega. I spent 40 years fighting for civil rights and justice. Our community has made progress, but there are still many who are treated unequally. Arizona's election system keeps everyone divided. There's too much dark money and too little voter participation. I am supporting 2 initiatives to protect our elections from corruption and give every Arizonan equal voting rights. If you believe in democracy and fairness, sign the petitions. Together we can fix our broken politics and support open and honest elections.
If you look at American history, there's no linear path. From the day the Constitution was signed, the issue of the character of our democracy, who gets to participate, how they get to participate, it's gone through multiple phases of, first of all, just inclusion of African Americans, of women, of people that don't own property. It's gone on to look at civil rights issues and voting rights issues and ending Jim Crow. The American people pay attention to this issue. They're organizable around these fights.